Hello and welcome to another edition of the bi-monthly training topics. We're here at a lovely 28 engine, the Rock, if you will, with firefighter St. Clair and firefighter Smith. And we're going to go over today extending hose lines and some of our options for when we come up short on our stretch. Right now we're going to show you, we'll jump right into it, we're going to show you extending the line dry at the exterior entrance to your building. So firefighter St. Clair gets to the door, he realizes he is short on his stretch. Meaning he made it to the doorway, but he's not going to have enough to advance through the house. So a quick, easy fix is, depending on how you have your engine company set up, if you have a standpipe rack or just a hose roll available, and we'll go through this real quick to just show time. So firefighter St. Clair gets here, go ahead, realizes he's short, he calls for, go ahead and start taking off the nozzle. Calls for his extra section of hose to extend the line. When the line is dry, we always want to do our best to take the nozzle off completely instead of leaving it in place and breaking away the tip. That's more of a last ditch effort. It eliminates the possibility of something being shut off. So while the line's dry and you're in communication, you get your hose available, and you get that one bundle, or if you have a standpipe rack, laying your standpipe rack here, working together, 50-foot section, you add it on there, he makes a connection there, he reattaches his nozzle, you neaten it up, and now you have an extra 50 feet to make entry. So that's a quick, easy way to overcome your shortcoming when the line is dry and you're going to take off the nozzle. The next scenario we're going to play out today is you've made your stretch inside, you get your line charged, you realize that one of your interior doors, if you have it available, that you're not going to make it to the next section of the building. You make it to the top of the stairs of a single family home or a townhouse or apartment building, you've only made it to the landing. And you've tried everything else to try to get your line maneuvered to benefit you, but you're still just short. So once the line is already charged and you're in a position that you don't necessarily want it shut down to take off the bail, meaning there could be fire on the other side of this, we could open this door up right now and firefighter St. Clair can flow water on the fire, keep it in check while we get the hose to extend it, or he could be holding this spot and we could be clearing people out of the neighboring apartment. We kind of want to maintain that charged hose line so we can extend it from the tip, so we don't have to go through the process of shutting it down, draining it, just to extend it from here. So either you bring the hose with you or you call back, hey, we're going to hold this fire in check for a minute, bring me a standpipe rack, bring me a hose bundle, whatever, to the landing. The officer's going to split out and get it. So while I do that, I'll tell firefighter St. Clair, go ahead and take off the tip so that he's ready to make that connection. So if you extend it by leaving the bail in place, your next section of hose needs to have a nozzle on it. Or doesn't have a nozzle on it. Say you don't have the tip part, but he just broke off the tip. You can take the tips that he had and put those back on. Just an option. But we'll say that we came in, we have it now. The one thing you have to be mindful of when you extend from the bail in the interior is you just added 50 foot of hose that you need to flake out before you charge it, because it's going to create a little bit of a mess. So the nozzle comes here, the backup guy, the officer, whoever, makes it neat. So consider the space you're going to have to do this. So now firefighter St. Clair can charge this next section by opening the bail. Just be mindful that once this gets charged and you're filling up this next section of hose, you have a shutoff that can eliminate your water supply. If it gets kicked, it gets moved around. So we're in this space. Scott's going to go ahead and engage the pump again to get us more pressure to fill this up all the way. As Firefighter St. Clair enters the building in a minute, we want to maintain this spot here. That either means you leave somebody back there with it to ensure it doesn't get bumped or closed shut, or you get a wire tie, like from Home Depot, or a piece of webbing, and you just tie it back in the charged position. So firefighter St. Clair can now go ahead and enter this room. He can advance in. Once he gets that door cracked, he can crack the nozzle. We're not going to do it in this spot, but you want to kind of check that to make sure you have good flow coming through. As he advances in, you've just gained yourself that 50 foot of extra hose to advance. The next one we're going to simulate is you've come up short on the stretch. It's a good distance from your engine. You're running the 300, you're inside, you're in a position that there can't be a lot of back and forth. So the officer, the crew, whoever calls back to the wagon driver and says, hey, we've come up short, we need to extend the line. The driver's first thought then should be to check the exterior up to the doorway to make sure there's not a buildup of excess hose that has not been advanced in yet. Once he's ensured that's not the issue, he can come back to his wagon and start getting that set up to extend it from the engine itself versus extend it from the tip. So you have a few options here. You can take a hose line bundle, a standpipe pack, whatever you want to call it, and extend it that way from the back bumper, or you can go to the bumper line and you can extend it from this point. So you want to get this in place first before you go and shut down anything. This way those guys that are short at least have a charged hose line. Once you get this stretched out, you want to leave it close to your tailboard where you're going to disconnect. This way your back and forth time is as limited as possible. He's breaking the nozzle off now. This way he doesn't have to do it when the line is shut down. So he breaks that, he shuts down his 300 after he calls back, all right, when you guys are ready, I'll shut down the line. They give the okay to shut down the 300 for a second. He disconnects it from the tailboard, which is a huge advantage of having a hose line attachment on the tailboard. If you don't have that, hopefully you have a bumper, a pony section. So he can now break his attachment there, hook it back up to his bumper line, and once that is done, he can go back and now charge his bumper line, which puts water back in that hose. So the line is charged again. Those guys are now in a safer operating spot. Now Scott, on the exterior, whoever your wagon driver is, it's going to be a lot easier for him to advance hose line on the exterior than it is for the crews. So he can start working this hose back into those interior crews. All right, so we've discussed extending some lines either from the tip, uncharged from the tip, charged already, or extending it from the pumper. Another option is trying to make that decision of when is enough enough. So don't mind the scenario right now, but picture your building and where you're placed. How much are you going to continue to extend the line when you come up short? How much manpower do you have versus you've been on the scene, you've started to figure out the building, you need a better line than what you're working with, and either going for a window and doing a hose line up a ladder to get to it instead of extending and extending and extending. Going to the inside, dropping down a rope and pulling a charged or uncharged hose line, or finding another side entrance, either an exterior stairwell or ground floor entrance. Obviously every situation is going to dictate your actions, but know what your options are. If you're going to do something from the inside where you go for another option, make sure the doors are shut so you guys are a little bit more protected, and make the communication to your driver. Hey, we're going to be going looking out the window on the Bravo side. Bring me an uncharged hand line, or bring me a cross lay to this side Bravo and attach it to my rope. It's hanging out the window. Or, hey, there's a ladder in place. Bring a ladder to the side Charlie, and we're going to run a line up a ladder versus keep moving a charged and uncharged hose line and extending it.